that Indiana train keeps rolling. So picture this: Oregon, Indiana, Big Ten championship because they don't play each other, and that will keep Ohio State out of the bowl.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams. And on today's Throwdown Thursday edition, we talk week 10 of the college football season. A lot going on in segment 1. We talk Power 4 and man, are they messing each other up? Segment 2, we'll talk about Group 5 and they're eliminating each other. And in segment 3, we'll talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. And yes, I was entertained this past weekend. Let's jump right into the SEC. Good wins by Ole Miss. They keep hanging around. Vanderbilt, they're bowl eligible now, and that's their goal every year, so they have achieved that. Tennessee is hanging around, and the guy who's about to talk to you told you it was tough to go to Columbia, South Carolina. So with us today, academic and athletic consultant, George Hocker. George, Southeast Conference, talk to me.
Well, let's see. You had a great win by South Carolina, which I told y'all you can't just go down there and win. So Texas A&M's hopes and dreams got shattered down there. Tennessee still alive. Can somebody explain to me why Georgia likes to play with their food? Because Georgia loves to play down to their competition, and then in the last like 10 minutes or so of the game, they want to explode and come out of there and with a win. So I mean, it's a continuous situation with them. So and actually, hey, the team that probably the two teams that probably benefited the most this week were Alabama and LSU because they were off. But they play each other next week, and that's going to be an elimination game. So they are literally cannibalizing themselves in the SEC. So it will be very interesting to see who makes the SEC championship. And then part 2 of that is going to be who wins the SEC championship. So,
yeah. And with that, you're going to hear us say this often. It is head to head in terms of tiebreaker, then common opponents. So my question last week was answered. Will a 2-loss SEC team be in the playoff? The answer is yes. George, the question is, will a 3-loss SEC team make it to the playoffs? What do you think?
I don't think we're going to be able to. The way it's shaping up, Notre Dame's still hanging out there. I don't think it's going to happen because there's just going to be, they're going to fall. Too many people are going to take up spots. See, we go through and we're looking at the top 12, but then everybody got to remember it's those 5 champions from the conference because you can have something crazy happen. So, and Boise's taking one of those spots. The thing they better watch out for is that nobody sneaks up. That's going to be that's going to be the thing. Boise's hanging out there, and Notre Dame is hanging out there. And even with that loss to Northern Illinois at the beginning of the year, that's why it's always, remember, folks, it's always better to lose early. We'll see what happens because it's going to be interesting coming down. But no, I don't think a 3-loss SEC team's going to make it.
All right, we'll jump to the Big Ten. Good win by Oregon. They keep just winning and going home. Ohio State. Indiana is about to BYU, you people. Minnesota is quietly having a good season. Northwestern with the win, Iowa with the win. No real lackluster performance, but a bad loss by Wisconsin, Illinois, USC, Lincoln Riley. Man, what are we doing? And Nebraska, you're the only show in town. Everybody comes. You can't lose to a mediocre team. What are you thinking about the Big Ten, George?
Not much. I mean, it's Oregon, and what's really crazy is that you really might have that setup of Oregon and Indiana. And we've been talking about it. I've been calling it out.
Yeah.
So I know we got some folks out there that are non-believers, but that Indiana train keeps rolling. So picture this: Oregon, Indiana, Big Ten championship because they don't play each other, and that will keep Ohio State out of the bowl. Out
And
of the out
Indiana
of
does
the
play Ohio State.
Yep. So
So
that game's gonna be huge.
where's
Indiana,
that game at?
I don't know where that game is. I'm gonna have to go look, but
Yeah.
I have to go check. But that game's gonna be huge because honestly, if they lose that game, they play at Ohio State. They play at the Shoe too.
Okay.
So if Ohio State loses that game, Ohio State's done. If
Okay.
Ohio State wins that game, where do we go? Because that's not going to be a bad loss for Indiana because Ohio State's going to be ranked in the top 12. How far does Indiana fall? And does that mean the Big Ten gets 3 teams in?
So yeah, let's get to that because I'm not going to run from it. But there was a team we didn't mention. And I don't know how to handle this because I always fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Oh,
And people
yeah.
who are my age know what that means.
Yeah.
Penn State,
Yeah.
once again, when the lights shine brightest, did what everybody told me they were going to do. But let me tell you why I keep hoping and praying Penn State does it. I'm a card carrying member of the Black Coaches Association, the BCA. And it is not often that not only do we get these opportunities, but an opportunity to win because unlike basketball, to my knowledge, there's never been a black head coach to win the college football playoff. And Penn State's the best opportunity we have because it's not going to be Maryland. And the second best opportunity is Notre Dame. So we spend extra time rooting for those teams. But George, Coach Franchise, good friend Robert, they always tell me every year, why do you do this to yourself? So, George, feel free now to unload on Penn State, and then we'll move on to the Big 12.
I mean, what is there to unload on? It happens every freaking year. It don't matter who coaching them. Okay, so
They
it's like
had the resources. They
don't
got
matter.
100,000 people coming.
Don't
They
matter.
got NIL money.
Don't matter.
What else do you? They got everything
They need
except a win.
They need an exorcist in there to get rid of Ghost of Sandusky. That's what they gonna need something because I'm telling you right now, they can't get past it. They won't do it. They can't do it. They freeze up every time, and you can. This is the coaching staff and the players. Go freeze up, get tight in big games. Like what the okay? I love James Franklin. Met him a number of times. He's come through. He's recruited a number of my players, but who is your offensive coordinator? Who makes those 3 calls on the 2-yard line? And you can't. Of course, you ain't gonna get nothing in the end zone. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It might be the worst coaching calls I've ever seen. So, but they did it to themselves, and it cost them because that loss. Say if Indiana runs the table right this week. Indiana's going to jump. And by the time Indiana plays Ohio State, Ohio State's going to be boosted. Indiana loses a close game to Ohio State. Penn State does not jump Indiana. So they're going to be on the outside looking in, waving through the glass. They're going to be window shopping again, as usual.
All right. Big 12. We're going to spend a little extra time on the Big 12 because they're going to mess it up for everybody.
They already
Good
did.
wins. Texas Tech. Oh, man. Houston, where y'all been? Arizona State with the kid going crazy in the dorm. UCF got to win and Baylor got to win. No lackluster performances, but Iowa State, you messed yourself up. And Kansas State, you messed yourself up because there's this team sitting out there with 2 losses in conference play who had a bye week and an opportunity to run the table the rest of the season and sneak right into that championship game against BYU, and that is Colorado. It can happen, folks. George, talk to me about the Big 12.
Whoa. They got 1 loss in conference play. Their second loss was against Nebraska at the end of Big Ten. So they all sit with 1 loss.
Whoa, thank you.
1 loss. So that game all let's put it like this. Sometimes you go into the casino and you push all your chips to the table and go in the middle of the table, go all in because this one's for all the marbles. You like, I'm gonna go all in right now, or because if I lose, I'm done, I'm going home. But if I win, we in good shape. And that's what happens next week. Because Texas Tech and Colorado now are sitting in the same. The winner is the front runner to play is the front runner right now to play BYU because Colorado does not play in, Iowa State. So it's going to be, yeah, they don't play Iowa State. So it's going to be interesting coming down the pike here.
So now I
So,
got to ask, while we're here at the Big 12, because it's going to come up in segment 3. Yeah, it looks like the Big 12 going to get one. Will they get two? It looks like they only going to get one. Will they get two teams from the Big 12 in the college football playoff?
it all depends. It depends on how things shake out, man. It could be. All I got to say is this: don't let Prime into the college playoff. Because if he goes in, he's kicking the door open. He's literally kicking the door down, going open. So Kansas State screwed it up for themselves. So really, it comes down to Colorado, Iowa State, and BYU. And Texas Tech could play spoiler. So, I mean, how do you put Texas Tech and how would you if say Texas Tech beats Colorado, runs the table on out? How do you put Iowa State in over Texas Tech and Texas Tech beat Iowa State? And that's what the committee, the committee loves head to head. So
Yep.
they ain't gonna put nobody in over
Head to
somebody to
head,
beat.
common opponents. Head to
Yep.
head, common opponents. You're going to hear that often. And speaking of messing it up for themselves, let's get to the ACC, George. Good wins by Miami. So I got to pause before I get to the rest of it. Miami, y'all got to play some defense, or this is going to be bad for y'all. Because you might win the ACC, but if you go and do something like that against one of these real teams, ain't no coming back, Cam. But anyway, Louisville went to Death Valley and beat Clemson. And then SMU and Pitt, possibly the biggest game this season in the ACC. Nobody watched it because it was on the ACC network. But good win. Good win. Syracuse, nice win. North Carolina State, a little too late. And UNC quietly keeps keeping me in the strictly for entertainment purposes process. Bad losses by Duke because you was up, and then you just can't give up 50 in anything. Clemson, that was bad. And Pitt, again, nobody thought you was going to be undefeated anyway, but still can't lose like that. And losing like 20 to 30 game or something like that, but nah, man, they just beat you. Any thoughts on the ACC, sir?
First and foremost, let me start off by saying, Pitt, I can't stand you. You cost me my 3 play.
Strictly for entertainment purposes.
Oh my God. It was horrible. They didn't even get off the bus. They did not get off the bus. What yesterday did do in the ACC, it cleared the muddy waters. It's going to be Miami and SMU. I'm looking to schedule. SMU can win all their games that they have left, and Miami they can win all the games they have left. They got no heavy hitters to worry about. So, out of what's funny about this, out of all of it, is that this could be the clearest situation going in, and honestly, they could wind up getting 2 teams in because SMU was going to go and going to be keep running up the rankings because they keep beating everybody.
Wow.
SMU is going to finish the year with 1 loss. They're sitting at 20 right now, and they're going to go up because of the losses ahead of them. Clemson being one of them, and Pitt being another one because Pitt was started off at 18. So SMU is going to go up. I can see SMU getting up to the top 10. So if that happens and they run the table, it won't matter what happens. It won't matter what happens. They'll be in the ACC championship, and if they happen to win, which will be the best thing in the world, you're going to get 2 teams from the ACC. And ACC is going to throw egg on all of y'all's faces. Whoever on this podcast that was like, there's no way they're going to get two teams in. Guess what? They're in the best shape to get two teams in out of everybody.
They are. So are you projecting that the loser of the ACC championship still gets in? Because remember, Clemson still has to play South Carolina. So that could be another loss, and the committee's going to watch that.
Yeah.
So SMU, if they go to the championship and lose, that's two losses. Miami, whoever wins is in, of course.
Right.
It's gonna
I
be,
don't know. We'll see. We will see
what they
where
think when they put the
when
rankings
they
up.
put the rankings up, but how far up the ladder SMU jumps, because a lot of people ahead of them lost, and they beat the number 18 team in the country.
All right, and finally, we've got the luckiest team all week, Notre Dame, because they didn't play. The people above them lost, and Notre Dame was ranked 8th anyway. So now that loss to Northern Illinois, even though it's the worst loss, ain't that bad anymore because everybody keeps losing. So if Notre Dame's like 5, they just gonna hang out because they ain't got no conference championship. And even with all of that, they'll drop to what, 8 or 9? Who's
Well,
they get in? What do you think,
it's
George?
it's going to be interesting to see, because we're talking about where the polls are versus where the CFP is going to put them. And CFP looks at, they look at wins and losses, and that Northern Illinois loss gets worse and worse as we go. Are they going to hold it against them? That's going to be the big thing. I can't see them in the CFP's ranking. I can't see them being no lower than 10, which means they're still in
They're
the
in.
spot. They're still in the spot. So, yeah, the whole SEC and couple other ones gonna be worried, because they're not wherever the CFP puts Notre Dame is a problem, especially if it's in the top 10, because Notre Dame's not gonna lose that spot, because they're not playing anybody on the way out. They're all winnable, so Notre Dame's gonna probably walk in. So it's gonna be interesting.
All right. So fans, in segment 2, we'll talk about the rest. And man, are they falling off, man. They're falling off like parachute fans. It's terrible. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. This is Dr. Keith Adams, president of the CKA Safe Project, with a question for you. Are you passionate about supporting student athletes? If so, then become an official member of the CKA Safe Project and make a difference today. With your membership, you'll be able to help us provide essential academic and athletic support to underserved communities nationwide. Join us in empowering student athletes to achieve their full potential, both on and off the field. Together, we can build a brighter future through education and sports. Visit ckasafeproject.org and choose your membership level now. $25 is a bronze level membership, $50 is a silver level membership, and $100 is a gold level membership. Be a part of the change. Become a member of the CKA Safe Project today. Welcome back to the Odd Coach Podcast. And in segment 2, Group of 5, and you're jumping into the American. Good win by Tulane, USF, Army, UTSA, I don't like that one, but that's another story. UAB got a win, but I got my win. And Rice, bad losses by Memphis and Navy. Okay, George, Army's in the top 25.
Oh, God.
They keep winning. They have Notre Dame, and that could be a great win for them. They will play, if they make it, the conference championship before they even play Navy. And that loss or win against Navy won't even matter. What are you thinking about the American? Have I convinced you that Army has a shot?
Chief, why do you keep doing this? Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. The host of this show sometimes drinks that apple cider that your father made that's been sitting under the table for about 8 years. He sips that stuff. Because when he comes up with these harebrained schemes, Army's not going anywhere. Army's gonna get blown out by Notre Dame. They played a bunch of cupcakes, and Europe. I mean, Army will be lucky to get through the rest of their schedule unscathed. That's how I'm gonna tell you that they got chances to lose to North Texas and University of Texas San Antonio. They got chances to lose all of them. The only team that out of Boise that you still that still poses a threat. The American is ruled top to bottom by Tulane. Okay, Tulane will smash any of them, and if Army gets lucky and makes it to the American Conference Championship, Tulane's gonna blow them out. So we're not talking about anything else. Don't give me that. Name somebody Army beat that was worth a damn.
You are correct that their strength of schedule is not as high as some others. So
that's a
I
polite way
don't
of putting
think
it.
Tulane, if they win, will be the Group of Five rep because we're going right to the Group of Five rep, in my opinion. Mountain West Pac-2. Boise keeps winning. Stop running that boy. I'm telling you, man. I was in the group chat. And they were up, 35, 28, 35, nothing in the first half. You know, Coach Adams would have shut that dude down. But I know you're trying to win the Heisman, but I'd rather get the playoff money. So we got Wyoming won, Hawaii won, Colorado State. Yeah, great. Bad loss by Fresno. But again, Boise's going to be on national television next week, 8 o'clock on Fox or something that somebody can see them. What are you thinking about Boise, George? Because they are in a prime spot to get that Group of Five bid.
Cakewalk. They're gonna go. They're gonna go. And then on the way in, they're gonna get themselves a win at the end to assure everybody by beating Oregon State. So they're gonna let everybody know. Look, they're gonna try to say we for real. Well, let's put this back. As long as Gentry's left arm stays attached, because his left arm is so beat up right now. If you watch the game, he will have all kinds of braces and padding on it because it's been hurt and it continues to be hurt. So and they keeping him out there so he can win the Heisman, which is not doing him many services. But you can't tell him not to play. But yeah, man, as long as they keep pushing, he pounding the ball, they find a way, and Boise does enough. And they're going to be a good game for most people for one of them teams that sneak in because he's a tough situation to deal with.
Stop running that. Okay, talk to me, George. Because yes, my players know. Anybody who works with me know I'm uber conservative. If I got a comfortable win, those starters are coming out and give it to the bench. How are you handling this as my football guy? Because I don't care about the Heisman. I care about the playoffs. But you do want to give the kid a chance. But you're taking a lot of shots you need to. They had 9 in a box, George. 9. What are you doing? Talk to him.
It's going to be like that every game. I mean, at the beginning of the game, all the way to the end, as long as he's in the game, it's going to be like that. So you weigh the thing against whether, I mean, is it severely in? It can it get worse? Is it severely injured versus what the kid wants to do? And the kid knows he's got to put up big numbers. I know the other night they kept him in Friday night because even though they were up like 35-10, he hadn't hit 100 yards yet, and he's got to hit 100 because if he don't, he's not in the conversation anymore. And on the other part about it is, not only does Boise have a chance to get to this CFP, but what would that do for Boise's cachet if they have a Heisman Trophy?
Rather
Heisman
win the
Trophy.
title.
I mean,
I know.
but wait a minute,
I
wait a
know.
minute. Let's ask the serious question: is there a chance Boise could win the title? Let's be realistic.
Actually, no, but Boise
Okay.
can win a first game.
Yeah,
And
but
that's good enough. They can win a 5-12 game. They can. And that will be, I
I
think,
don't.
bigger than a Heisman because they
I
would get
don't.
a second game.
I don't think there is a. Um. I don't think there's a reason or a chance that Boise won't get a first game in the CFB.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Conference USA because this will be very brief. Liberty lost. So now they've got 2 losses, and I'm totally upset with that. Good win by FIU, Sam Houston State, Jacksonville State, Western Kentucky, and Middle Tennessee State. You guys are playing for bowl eligibility, so good luck to 6 wins and playing in the Bluebonnet Bowl or whatever. Sun Belt. Louisiana, nice job. App State back on the winning track. Marshall, Troy, Georgia Southern. Again, you guys are playing for bowl eligibility, and this is when franchise turns heel and says, "Look, nobody cares about these teams." Well, you're right, Mike, but we got a show to do. But we're going to move on to the MAC. George, MACtion starts this week.
Wait a minute. Before you go to the MAC, we got to, because you got to give no matter how you hate on them or not, you got to give the Raging Cajuns some love. They're probably University of Louisiana is probably going to finish out with 1 loss altogether. They probably, if they get ranked, it'll probably be somewhere around 25. But they're a damn good football team, and they're running through that conference like it's hot knife through butter. So go ahead.
True.
Go ahead.
Thank you for being kind to them. No beef with the Cajuns. Tuesday night action is starting this week. We come on Thursday. So, hey, Buffalo. Hey, Toledo. Good luck. Keep winning. Yeah, whatever. Okay. HBCUs. Nobody's watching Tuesday night action except me. And that will be strictly for entertainment purposes only if I do watch. But anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, George. Will you be watching Tuesday night action?
It'll be on, so probably will. Probably will catch some of it.
Okay.
Probably.
All right, HBCUs, good win by Tennessee State, South Carolina State, Howard, Morgan State, Southern, Jackson State. If Jackson State wins not only the SWAC, but the HBCU National Championship without Prime, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Bethune-Cookman got to win. Prairie View A&M got to win. FAMU got to win in Alabama State. Good luck to FAMU's basketball team. Patrick Crary from the area is there, and their AD had been nice to them. They got a new AD. Good luck to you, Pat. Bad losses by A&T and Mississippi Valley State. George, A&T is 1-8. Mississippi Valley State's 0-9. Why are we still bad in the 21st century? I can't find no talent to get some wins.
I don't know. And A&T has put money into that program. I don't understand that whole situation. Now, my bad loss, it goes to North Carolina Central. South Carolina State just put it on them, which probably more than likely knocked them out of the Celebration Bowl. And it looks like it's going to be South Carolina State and Jackson State, which is crazy. So that'll be that is significant because it's the end of a run for UNCC. UNCC. They have been a mainstay. They got a great program down there, but so that was huge for them to lose to South Carolina State.
Yeah, and the MEAC doesn't have the 5 teams anymore.
No, I know.
So I don't even think that's fair. The SWAC's got 2 divisions, and they've got a championship game, and the MEAC is just kind of hanging around there. But I guess Hampton and A&T want to go lose somewhere else instead of losing with them. I'm sure it's money driven. Follow the dollars.
It is.
Okay. All right. So, fans, when we get back at segment 3, we will talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only, and I will share what I think the committee should do. And I think George might agree with me this time. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast. This is Dr. Keith Adams, president of the CKA Save Project and author of Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. This book is your key to unlocking the secrets of being a successful student athlete. Drawing from my 30-year career as a teacher and coach, this instructional guide offers a unique perspective on achieving success in both academics and athletics. With over 15 personal stories and insightful antidotes, Finding the Balance is a must-read for student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators. Visit www.ckasaveproject.org to get your copy and start finding the balance today. Welcome back to the Coaches Podcast in segment 3. All right, here we go. The committee comes out on Tuesday. This comes out on Thursday. I'm thinking we're locked into where the committee's going to be. George, here we go. I think Georgia will win the SEC. Oregon will win the Big Ten. Miami will win the ACC. BYU is actually going to win the Big 12. And then we've got Boise as the group of five. So that five is in. So that leaves us seven left. Here's where we go, George. I think Ohio State, Texas, Tennessee, Indiana, SMU, Iowa State, and Notre Dame will be those next seven. And then on the outside looking in, Pitt, LSU, Colorado, Penn State, and yes, strictly because of the situation, you've got Army or Tulane. What do you think about the projected football playoff ranking?
All right, so let's look. Penn State, I'm going down the list. Penn State is out as it stands right now. Problem with Tennessee is that Tennessee still has to play Georgia. That's going to have them with 2 losses. So they're probably going to be gone. Texas A&M has got beat by South Carolina. They're done. Iowa State is interesting right now. Colorado's that wild card. Clemson is out. They lost. Indiana, which you did not mention, should be on the list. They need to be right. Did you mention Indiana? I didn't.
Indiana is in the next seven. Yes.
Okay.
I've got Indiana as 9 in the next 7. So they should be in the top 12. They should be for that first group.
They'll definitely be in the top 12. Indiana will be there. Right. You got Alabama, LSU. The loser of that game knocks themselves out. So one of them, you're saying that Alabama is going to beat LSU.
Yeah, if I get Alabama as a underdog, I'm gonna take them. If I get Alabama as an underdog, I'm gonna take them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's where we got right. That's what we got right now, man. We got a bunch of games where we got a bunch of situations where people gonna knock themselves, gonna either win and stay in, or they're gonna knock themselves out. And like that puts so much emphasis on that Georgia Tennessee game. I think that's in 2 weeks. That is going to be humongous. There's going to be a whole lot of emphasis on that Ohio State Indiana game. That's going to be huge.
Go figure on that.
And that's going to be crazy. And what's crazy about it is, like I said, the Big Ten can still come in this thing with 3 teams.
Yeah.
Because if the winner of, say, Indiana beats Ohio State, or either way, and they run the table the rest of the way out, the winner of that game gets Oregon in the championship, in the Big Ten championship. So now you got Oregon, the loser of that game, and then if Indiana or Ohio State could still get in, because they're probably going to be in that top about 10 or 9. The interesting thing with this whole thing is you got to be in the top 9, at least, because automatically Boise's taking 1 seat. If it's not, say something happens and Miami does not win the ACC champions got to get in there. Even if Miami does, the ACC champion will be there, and SMU has a chance to be in that top 10. And Boise State's taking a seat, and Notre Dame's going to take a seat. So if I was coaching right now, to be safe, I would want to be in the top 9. Because if I don't finish in the top 9, it's not your prospects are not looking good. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see where they have the rankings come out today.
Election day.
Yeah.
So George, here's the funny thing, and this is something I'm excited about with the playoffs, because now you've got a basketball aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to hope the favorites win these dadgum conference championship games.
Yeah, yes.
Because if you got Miami and SMU in the ACC championship and Miami loses, I got to think Miami's still in, to go to your point in segment 1, that the ACC is going to get at least 2 in.
Yep.
Now, if Miami wins and SMU has that second loss, now you've got the excuse to, keep some people out. But, you're looking at it like, I need Georgia to win. I
Right.
need Oregon to win because if Oregon goes all the way through and then lose, well, whoever beat them's in, and Oregon is in too. So that is a wonderful thing that basketball has finally entrenched on football.
Yeah, and it's going to be, you really do, because like a Georgia loss is really going to upset things. I mean, if Georgia loses to Tennessee, it's going to be bedlam in the SEC at that point in time, because who gets in? Who gets in?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be. Do you keep? I mean, at that point in time, you're looking at maybe four teams that are going to be up for the SEC. You're going to be talking about Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and the winner of the Alabama LSU game. Just like in the big, and just like in the
Mhm.
with Oregon losing. If Oregon loses, you're looking at Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, and Indiana. So, and not everybody gets to go. So somebody's going to be sitting at
Somebody's
home.
gonna be disappointed.
Somebody's going to be sitting at home. So
All right.
it's going to be interesting.
So season long bets, SEC. I still got two teams in it. Georgia and Missouri can still hit the over. Big
Oh,
Ten, Maryland is done for me, but Oregon can still hit the over. I did two bad picks in the Big 12, but Utah still might mess it up because they play BYU this week. We'll get to that shortly. In the ACC, I picked one good and one bad. NC State won't make it, but SMU will. SMU has 8 wins, and the over/under was 8.5. Next win, I go to the pay window. Notre Dame has to win out, and UMass. Hey, thank you for being an independent. In the American, Memphis let me down. USF let me down, but UAB lost just enough for me to win. In the Mountain West Pac-2, I'm all in on Boise. They've got 7 wins, and the over/under was 9. Lost on New Mexico. Conference USA, strictly for entertainment purposes only. Liberty didn't make it, and FIU's got an outside shot. Sunbelt, Texas State, nope. Thanks, Robert. All right, and a little action. Toledo, keep winning. And my favorite directional school is Western Michigan. They've got a shot too. My college football weekly bets, my Super 7. Georgia, I was 4-3 this week, which takes me up to 46% for the season. My showcase game was UNC minus 2.5. You see, when Matt got run by JMU, and they started talking about how old he was, it was important for Carolina to get to a bowl game. Now, he still may leave, which he probably should, but at least he can go out with his head held high. Yeah. All right. Two play. Vandy and Indiana. So this is the George and Robert pick. Robert boy is Diego Pavia, and they've been winning, and it was plus 7.5 against Auburn, and Diego beat Auburn when he was playing at New Mexico State, and there's a lot of guys on Vandy that Auburn didn't recruit. So that's the spike game. Shout out to Mike King. And then we got Indiana. Indiana has hope in the building, and hope is crazy. Hope is DEI. Hope does not care about your race, your creed, your color, your daddy. When you start believing in yourself, you start running people out. And with the why not us, why not now? So Indiana and Vandy got the two play for me. My 3 play spread, George, I went Georgia minus 14.5, Clemson minus 10.5, and Oregon minus 14.5 because they were playing for something. That's why I picked them. And Georgia, I loved your analogy about playing with your food. Man, the committee ain't going to like that. And Clemson, you better hit the portal. Again, get busy living or get busy dying, as Andy Dufresne said. And Oregon is just humming along. Now, my 4 play, Ole Miss did business. Toledo did business,
ooh.
but Memphis and Nebraska, Memphis, you're trying to get to a decent bowl, make a little money back. In Nebraska, you're the only show in town. Come on now. Can't be losing those. I took the over with Florida and Georgia, over 52.5. I took the under with Louisville and Clemson, thinking it was going to be a little more defense, but they got the under. Great. And my upset of the week, I pushed my chips in the middle, George, and Penn State it on me, and that's what happened. Did you do anything strictly for entertainment purposes only this week?
Well, like I told you, at the beginning of the season, you should just give me your money.
Told my wife,
instead
you
of
said I got to
that.
give George $10 at the
Yep.
start of the season.
Just give it to me at the beginning of the season because you go run that Penn State gauntlet, and I tell you every year, it ain't gonna happen. So we went 2 for 3 yesterday. We had Penn State, we had Ohio State like you're supposed to. Um, we took Ole Miss. Everybody was talking about them going down in Arkansas. And God, did they ever? They just destroyed Arkansas down there. Everybody was talking about Arkansas defense was going to get them. I knew that wasn't right. But let's talk about how bad Pitt just disappointed me. How do you go to Dallas with everything on the line and lay an egg? I mean, you didn't even get off the bus. They didn't even get off the plane. They just got destroyed. And let Edison, you beat them up in Dallas in the blue uniforms. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible.
All right. So next week's game of note. And I got to do my picks early this week, George. I usually don't like doing that, but I will be at the AMLE conference when this comes out in Nashville, Tennessee. And we'll have all kinds of Nashville stories, but I don't want to mess around with different state sports books. So I'll just do my bets early. We've got Maryland, Oregon, Georgia, Ole Miss. Can we get a trip up with Georgia, Ole Miss? Because we're not going
No.
to get a trip up with, okay. We've got Washington, Penn State. I'm still mad that those guys lost. I'm just so mad. Purdue, Ohio State. There was an upset in the past with Purdue and Ohio State.
Yeah, that was
And
1946.
okay, Miami, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Tennessee, BYU, Utah. The Holy War. These are rivals. You got to throw the records out of the book with the rivals. It's what they
Yeah.
tell us.
Yeah, but you got to have a quarterback, which Utah
Okay.
does not.
All right. Clemson's going to Virginia Tech. That game would have meant something, but Clemson whipped the bed. Iowa State against Kansas. Michigan against Indiana. Okay. So Michigan is still Michigan, right?
No,
Michigan still got talent, right? They
no.
can go to Indiana. There's no way. If Michigan's an underdog against Indiana,
Folks,
I'm strictly
folks,
for entertainment purposes only.
folks, if you're just talking about any entertainment with this game whatsoever, all money gets pushed to Indiana. Do not get that big blue eyes in you
You
and
know Vegas is going
all
to
this.
tease you.
You,
I
yeah,
haven't seen the line, but
they
Vegas.
going. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And I'm gonna
But
be sitting on here next week, and you're gonna look at me with that look you give me and
yep,
say, "Why'd you do it, man?
there's
Why'd
going to be a
you
lot of there's not going to be a dry eye in the big house or wherever they're playing. Because I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you,
No,
I'm gonna
they're
tell you,
playing at Indiana. They're going
okay.
to
Oh,
Indiana.
oh, oh my God, that's gonna be.
Going back to Indiana, as the
I'm,
Jackson
I'm,
Five say.
I'm gonna tell you this: the points read. It's going to Indiana by at least 37.
Oh, come on. All right. Florida against Texas. Can the Gators make a scare and mess it up?
I don't know. They don't even have a quarterback. They recruiting
Oh,
kids off the
yeah.
corner.
Yeah. That was,
They
yeah.
were they recruiting kids off the corner to
So,
get a
sorry
quarterback.
about that one. Colorado travels to Texas Tech.
That's the
That game
game.
takes on extreme
Woo!
significance now. Alabama against LSU. That game
Oh,
is an elimination game.
yeah.
All right, Nevada against Boise State, but it's on prime time, and you get to watch the running back run. Virginia against Pitt. Don't go back to back losses.
Who
Uh,
cares? Who cares? That's a who cares game.
all right. So, is there anything of note for you before we wrap up, sir?
Where's LSU playing Alabama this year? Is this the
Uh,
one? Are they in Death Valley? Or are they in Alabama?
I will give you that they are in Death Valley, sir. So it looks like Alabama will be the underdog, and that might be a sexy pick,
Let's
strictly for
go
entertainment purposes.
LSU. Let's go LSU. Let's get it done.
All
I
right.
got LSU. I got LSU.
Okay.
That's the one.
All right, fans. So on behalf of our academic and athletic consultant, George Ockett, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Coaches Podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.